Three, two, one, and we are live on YouTube with Tania Sousa, who is my absolutely gorgeous and amazing guest today. I'm so delighted to introduce Tania because she is passionate, motivated, and innovative coach. She loves guiding, she loves motivating and leading people so that they can become the best versions of themselves in their best lives ever. I'm not sure if you have met Tania before, but today I have her here, and it is my delight and pleasure to introduce you to her and her to you and vice versa. Tania, welcome to my show, Love and Intimacy. How are you today?
Thank you, Olga. I'm very good. I'm very, very good today. Yeah, very vibrant and very happy about being here.
That
So
is,
thank you very much.
it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. And I must say, I can't remember any time of our communication when I ever find you not being good. Right? This is
Oh, thank you.
fascinating. You're always good. I mean, anytime you're always feeling good, you're always vibrant, you're always happy, you're always smiling. So before we jump into the relationships and intimacy, which is really exciting topic, by the way, could you please share us a bit more about yourself, your journey? Like, how did how did you end up here being so happy, so marvelous, so super high energy all the time?
Well, it's a daily thing, you know. I think you first of all you have to be grateful of what you have and live the moment. Be bold and be open. Um, there's so many tips I could say. Just um, just let the world and let the life flow and try to get the best of everything. And obviously, every morning I will say I ask the universe or however you want to call it to guide me and to bring the best that there is. And I think I always start my days and my life looking for the positive on everything. I think, and with a smile, obviously, on my face.
I love that. I really love it. And I think it's so important to actually doing your best every day to keep the smile on your face, whatever situation comes. And when
Yes.
you have this attitude, this really positive attitude, then anything in life is just a little challenge. It's just a little thing you need to overcome, a little thing you need to work on, right? But not a
Very
massive
true.
problem. Love that. Love that. So, Tanya, could you tell us more about your relationships? Because I know, and that really shocked me. Because I'll be honest with you, I knew you are in a long term relationship with your husband, but I didn't know it is a 19 year long relationships, out of which you are married for 14 years and you have a 9-year-old daughter. I mean, that's
Yeah.
how.
I would say it's more than half of my life. uh,
Exactly. You see, I was really careful
so
here. I didn't want to ask you, well, how old are you, Tanya? Because I don't know how old you are, but I
uh,
didn't want to ask you. And I was like, well, it's really tricky.
should I say how old I am? I'm very proud. I'm 34 years young. Yeah.
No way.
So, yes.
And you already, well, I mean, you look great and you look absolutely fabulous. But for a
Thank you.
34-year-old person to be for 19 years in relationships, this is absolutely remarkable.
I know it amazed me as well. Now that I look back and I say, "Wow, where all these years has gone." But I think when you leave a relationship with love and with all your heart and achieving all your challenges, it just it just doesn't look that it's been so long. We met each other really young, um, and I was already mature and I already knew what I wanted for life. I kind of knew what type of man I wanted in my life, so he filled all those things very well. um, and yeah, since then it's just growing together and planning together, and obviously we had our ups and downs as every relationship has it, but we just work it out and we come out of every challenge stronger and stronger. Yes.
I love that. You know what you said there? We had challenges, we had upsides and downs, and we had our moments. It's fascinating because how many people out there they face the first challenge and they break up and they leave relationships, they walk away. And also what you said there is really fascinating. You knew what you wanted? I mean,
Yes.
Tania, how did you do that? Wait,
Since very young.
you were, how old you were? I can't do the math now. How old you were when you met your
years
husband?
old when I met my husband. 15.
15.
15, yes.
Well, well.
Yes. So shall I share with you my little story? I'm gonna make it short.
Yes,
Yes.
I'm desperate
So,
to know. Absolutely. And everybody else wants to know how to make it happen. Please share.
yes. So I was born in Venezuela, as you know. And obviously my dad was always looking for a best future for the children. We are four, 3 girls and 1 boy, which I love, all my sisters and my brother with all my heart. And my parents wanted to go back to their country, which is Madeira Island. And my dad just came on holiday to Madeira after being in Venezuela for 22 years. And he found Madeira like a paradise after so many years, because everything changed. Obviously, in 22 years, everything changes. In 2 years, everything changed. Imagine 22 years. So when he went back home, he said, we're going to Madeira, we're gonna live, we're gonna go back. So off we went, we sold everything we had, and I think that was the best decision my dad made on that time, and I'm so grateful and so happy that that happened. I always been really positive, always been really happy. You know, I don't remember a time where I wasn't like this. Well, I do, but we talk about it some other time.
Interesting.
I had
Okay.
challenges as well, obviously, in life. I had my downs as well. But
So you're normal. You're more or less normal person. You're like, somebody
I'm
from
a normal
space.
person, obviously. Yes.
That's good.
I go down, but I'm like the phoenix, you know. I go down and then I raise even stronger.
Love that.
So I was always a happy person, and I was looking forward to move, you know, as my dad gave us like the perfect picture of Madeira Island, you know, is a paradise. So off we went. We moved to Madeira. I met my husband in the
How? I want to know
airport.
how.
I met my husband on day 1 in
No.
the airport. Yes.
No.
Yes.
Oh.
And as well as he fall in love with me, I fall in love with him, and everything started there. And we started to go out together. We had our rough time because I was too young. My dad wasn't really, you know, into it because I was only 15.
Yes.
But we fought together. We went further, and here we are, 19 years old after. So yes.
That is remarkable. I mean, how do you meet somebody on a day 1 and you stay together forever? Like, how does it even happen?
Well, it's everything, you know. I think it's a two-way work. So you have to put a little bit of your sand, he has to put a little bit of his sand, and together we start constructing, you know. It's a natural thing, I think, when love guides you, I think.
Oh, I love that. That's a really good phrase. That's a really good phrase. It's a natural thing when love guides you. So it's all about actually being in love and loving the other person. But Tanya, here I'm curious because you mentioned at the very beginning of this show that you knew what you wanted. I mean, I'm also a coach and I work with people, and sometimes I have people who are in their 60s and they still don't know who they are and what they want, right? How a girl at the
Oh
age of
God.
18 was able to know what exactly she wants from life and from relationships. I mean, it's not that common.
No, I know. I don't really know how to explain that. I always been really determined. I always like challenging myself, and I don't compete with anything or anyone else apart from myself. You know, I like challenges. I like learning. I love knowing more. I'm really connected to, you know, the universe and this power, you know, that there is. And I always, as I said, I always ask for guidance, some one way or another. I don't know. I think I would say it's everything. It's through optimism, I think.
Love that.
Because as I said, I don't remember not being like this.
Love that. Love that. You see, it's very unique, and it's something what we always have to cherish and value, because you're right, not everybody is like that. And I know it personally because, again, it's not like you, I work with a lot of people who are coming from different walks and paths, and they change and they become more positive and having greater outlook and all the rest of it. But not everybody originally.
And I did change for sure. I did change for sure. It's been a you know, a long process. I've changed in many ways, and I still you know, I'm or someone was calling. I'm not the person I was, for sure, in many ways, but I can say that my changes has been always to better, or that's what I feel, you know.
Love it, love it. This is fascinating. And you see, we always should strive to be better. And as you mentioned earlier, it's about trusting the guidance of the universe. It's about trusting to actually knowing that once you just let go, that things will work out, and things will work out in such a way that you will meet the right people and you will connect with them, just like we connect with you.
Surely. Yes.
And it's just amazing. I have here a really beautiful comment, and I'll practice my Spanish here. I think it is Spanish. Sylvia Sousa, I think it's your sister. She says, "Hello,
yes.
Tania, Olga da Ila da Madeira."
Oh, yeah. So she's saying, "Hello, Tania and Olga from Madeira Island." Hello.
Oh, go. Oh, good. To see you from Madeira. That's amazing. Good to see you, Sylvia. I hope you're well today, and thank you so much for joining us. It's good to see you. We also have Ihsan Han with us, and he was asking early on. He was saying hello, giving us a wave, and he said he asked what is the agenda of this session. So what I responded back is saying discussing relationships and intimacy, and also discussing, Tania, your challenges, and especially learning from you the tips and tricks on how to have long-term relationships. So I'm looking forward to this session. Oh, I love Diana's comment here. She says, "I'm loving hearing your story, Tania." Me too.
Love, Diana.
Whoever's watching us, let's give a little round of applause for Tania and her husband for being together for 19 years from the age of 15. By the way, how old was your husband when he met you?
20.
No way.
Yes.
You know, when you meet people at 25 and they're 30, it's all right. When you meet people,
I know.
It's like, yeah, sure, 5 years, it's good.
Girl. It's not like that. Not like that. No.
Okay.
No, because when you're 15, sorry, you go ahead.
Exactly. No, carry on. I was going to ask similar question.
I was going to go there after. So when you're 15, it's kind of your parents still looking at you as the baby, and I'm the youngest, yeah. So I'm the baby of the house. My dad, you know, will expect it from everyone, but not me. So yeah, it was a challenge. It was really challenging, but we've been through it. And I remember saying to my dad, whether you like it or not, he is the man I want. Like that.
That's interesting. From a daddy's girl, from a youngest daddy's girl.
From a daddy's girl, yes. But you know what's the thing? Me and my dad are so similar that he kind of thought, you know, there is nothing I can do here.
Wow.
He's determined as me, so what can I say?
Well, you know what? Looking back now and seeing that you're together for 19 years, I think there's no regret. There's no regret.
I've learned so much with him, and I'm so grateful, you know, that he's my husband. I couldn't be more happy.
Oh my God, I love that. absolutely love that. So Tanya, what would you say to, let's start with single people, right? Because we have lots of
Yeah.
single people right now, especially during this lockdown time when they
Yes.
don't have anybody. Like you have your
Oh, I
amazing
know.
husband, right? So what about those single people who are by themselves right now? They cannot go and meet people in the club or on the beach or anywhere else. What would you say to them about how to prepare themselves for the time when they're going to meet the one?
Well, as I said to you, I think you have to have your cup full. You have to be sure that you love what you see. Um, how to say it? Because, I think as a human, we judge ourselves so much in so many ways. And I've done it, and I'm not going to say that I'm not doing it right now. Sometimes you just do it and you're not conscious about it. But when you look at the mirror and you see yourself, I think you should think, if you met yourself today, would you like it? I think that's the first thing. And I know if I see pictures of myself when I was 15, it's funny because I think, oh my God, how could I dress like that? Things like that, because it was another time. But it's not like I'm judging myself. I loved myself then as much as I love myself now.
This is
So
remarkable.
so I think it's the way you look at yourself first, and if there is anything that you feel that you don't like or that you feel that you should be working on, then do it now, because now is the time, I think. And there is nothing that you can accomplish in relates to changing yourself or changing the things that you don't like. And it starts there. I think it starts in looking inside of you, and knowing yourself. I think knowing what you want and what you like, and who is the right person for yourself.
Wow.
Sometimes it's, and I'm not saying it's gonna work, I'm not saying you're gonna find the perfect person, but that's gonna help you to have point one, where to go, and focus on the person that you want to meet, I think.
That's marvelous. You know what you said there? It's so powerful. Know yourself, who you are, and know exactly what you want from your partner. So, if somebody is a single right now and they're looking for a partner, it is about starting with yourself, making sure deep inside your self-love tank, self-love cup is full. So, starting from the plenty, from fullness, right? But Tanya, like you and I, we both know how to work on ourselves, right? Because we both are coaches and we both work with
Yes.
clients. So, we help so many people. But what would you say to an average person who never had a coach before, right? Who doesn't know how to learn about themselves? Like it's easy to say, yeah, just go learn about yourself. And you go, okay, then I'm going to learn about myself. How? Like, how?
um well, the way I've done it, it's search, fall in love with something. Like I've I'm gonna say I read a book long time ago. As I said, I always been this kind of person, really positive, really ongoing, pushing people and forcing people to move to the direction that is going to make them happy. And that's my nature, yeah. But I've read a book, I think I mentioned before to you, I've read a book that marked my life and changed my life so much, which was The Power of Your Subconscious Mind from Joseph Murphy. And in that book is so much material that can help you go deep and see that there is so much you can do for yourself by changing the way you think, by changing the way you see yourself and others, and the way that you look at life. Um, because sometimes you're so disconnected. I think we need connection. We need to connect with our source. I will say with what make us flow and what make us vibe, and it starts there. Just I will say maybe look inside yourself, or look at yourself and think, what is there that it's probably blocking you from being you, or from becoming the best version of you. And there's so much you can search. There is so many sources. And, you know, if you need a coach, we are here.
That is very true. Very true. Whoever is watching this video, we are here to help.
I mean, or there is probably someone that can come your way, and or if there is someone that you like and that is it's in a way inspiring you, then follow that person and see what they do. You know, maybe one suggestion will be look for inspiration on someone, or if there is anyone that inspires you and you like what that person is doing, maybe find more about it and see what that person is doing that is probably going to help you.
Yes, I love that. I really love that.
I've learned in many ways. We could be talking here for hours.
Oh, we definitely can. We absolutely definitely can. But you know what? I'm just thinking right now that you haven't shared with us the place you met with your husband. Like, we know you met at the age of 15 and he was 20, but how exactly it happened? Was it like on the beach? Was it in the club? Was it like in the shop? I'm sure there's a story about that. Do you want to share with us the story?
As I said, everything started in the airport. And after that, we just connected, you know. I knew there was something on him that I liked. I don't know how to explain it. He is just a wonderful man. And he saw something in me that he liked, you know, and we started there. Everything started in there. And he asked me out. Obviously, in that time, I was the smallest at home. So we never had a time to go out together. My dad would always send me with my sister or with my brother, or, you know, so we were kind of, you know, knowing each other and starting to know each other. I think that's a key, you know. I think nowadays, if I might, I don't want to judge, but I think we kind of start the things the opposite way, you know. We have to know each other. We have to know what one another like. What's the music that they listen to, you know. It's many things that you can think and you can realize if that's the person. And even if you don't realize on day one, because it's not going to happen, we're still together for 19 years and we're still finding things that we think, oh, really, you know, things like that, because you never get to know a person 100%, because human change and you know, everything changes. And for more that you are together, you share your thoughts, you share your dreams, you share what you want for your life, but there is always something that we don't share, or there's not because we don't want to share, but because it's not important maybe on that moment, and then it comes on another time and you're like, oh, seriously, you know. But you need to then there needs to be respect of what you like and what it's the things that you fall in love to, and respecting what the other person likes and what's the thing that he feels in love with as well. So space, respect, and love.
I love that. But you see, as you talk about your story, I'm imagining, like in the movies, you're going down in the airport and then you drop something and he goes down on his knees and he's picking up and you look at each other.
No, not like that.
How was it then? I'm waiting for the details.
So he was there waiting. Well, I'm gonna say it. We are cousins, yes. So he is, yes. So he's my family, and I don't know. We never met before. I just met him on that day, and he was there waiting for us because my sisters were already in Portugal when me and my brother and my parents came. They came before us, 6 months before, my 2 older sisters. So they weren't, because they didn't drive, they had to have someone to get us from the airport, and he was my driver.
So he was literally your driver. But hang on a second. Here I have a question, because usually, how to ask this question? You know, usually it's kind of quite judgmental, you know, from people point of view.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. We went through so many challenges, so
Exactly.
many things, and I know many people would judge it, and so many people judge it, and so many people are still judging it, but I don't really care, you know. It's what it is, and we fall in love, and it's such a bond, and we are still here.
Wow, Tanya, I'm honestly so impressed. Really
Yes,
impressed. I'm shocked and I'm impressed. And I didn't expect that, but I'm so proud of you
thank
being
you.
so strong and going through all of that. Because now I understand even deeper like why there were so many challenges. And I'm sure everybody who's watching this, they're probably right now just like, oh my God, this girl, she's ace. Right? It's amazing. It's absolutely
I
amazing.
know.
Because I can
Yes,
only imagine how much hate and how much judgment you had. And as you said already, you still have. But
yes.
you know what my question is, apart of this challenge, right? Apart of this challenge, what other challenges have you faced in your marriage? What was, you know, something what you are willing to share with us? Of course, I don't want to go into any depths which you're not willing to go to. But what other
Yeah.
challenges have you had in your union, in your relationship, which you could share with us, with other people, so they can learn from you and learn how to overcome them?
Well, I'm gonna talk about. I think it's a general challenge. I think many relationships goes through, which is the trust and the
Love
I would
that.
say confidence and trust.
Yes. Yeah.
So my husband then he already was he gone through a bad relationship. So before he met me, 2 years before, he met a person, and I think he had a really bad experience. And even though he liked me, even though he loved me, even though he knew it was me who he wanted, the shadows of his previous relationship was kind of making him not trust me 100%. And
Wow.
and he was brave enough to share that with me and tell me that that's why, you know, that's the reason, because he found old his previous girlfriend with another man or something. And you know, he was only 18 back then. And I think it was quite long relationship. I don't really know how long they've been together. So when he shared that with me, and because I always been this person with an open mind, and as I said, try to always get guided by the universe and by, you know, by love and what there is, and let things flow. I just ask him to trust me, you know, to believe in me, because that's another thing. The culture from Venezuela and the culture from Madeira is totally different. So in Venezuela, we call each other love. We you know, even if we are friends, you hug your friend. It's a different relationship, and I think for him was a big shock when we were treating our friends like that. So um, we were together for a couple of years, and I was a party girl, and I love dancing because it's on my blood, you know. It's
Love
me. I
that.
love
Love
I
that.
love
So much of you
dancing.
that.
Everything that brings me vibe and positivity, I'm there. And obviously I was 15, you know. I was just
Yes.
starting my journey of, you know, of being young, um and he would come with me to the parties, but he hated parties. Yeah, he didn't like, no, yes, so he didn't like discos, or he doesn't drink. He doesn't drink.
Wow. Look at that.
Okay, so and obviously for me that was a big step for him, and I said, you just have to trust me. You don't like dancing, I respect that. You don't like drinking, I respect it. But for you to clear your head and believe me, just come with me. We
Love that.
You will see me dancing, you will see me having fun, but the man I want in my life is you. So yeah, I think some relationships fail because there is not enough trust, there is not enough confidence, or there is not enough uh, opening between one another. in a way that, you know, we have to respect each other.
Yes.
You know, I'm who I am who I am, and he's who he is, and we have to, whatever the reason that we are together, or whatever the reason that brought us together, that's the main reason, you know, and that's what we have to focus on.
I love that. You know, I personally know exactly what it means when your partner doesn't like you being a dancing girl. And I'm such a big love of dancing myself as well. And in my previous relationship, my partner was very, very similar. Oh, other man will touch you.
Hello.
Girl is actually massaging them, right? Fully naked body. So let's
Oh
forget about
dear.
that. That's not that important, right? But actually, the dancing in self part, of course, that's really challenging part, right? So
Yeah.
I know exactly what it feels like when your partner is challenging you on this side, and he says, "Well, I'm not really happy. I'm not really sure if you know if it's a good idea." But I
Mm.
really admire you for the strength which you had in explaining to your probably boyfriend at that time that, hey,
Yes.
I want only one man in my life and I want to be with you, so you have to trust me. Wow, that, you know what, at that such young age to be so wise, this is
Well,
remarkable.
yeah, it was on that, it wasn't in right in the beginning, because obviously when you're starting, all the sparkle and all the, you know, all the vibration of having a person that you love, you know, sometimes you don't have time to think about anything else. But it's when, obviously, I was new in Madeira, so I didn't have friends right in the beginning. But then there was, on the time we moved to Madeira, many other Venezuelan girls or people moved into it, so we kind of had a community, and then we started having like Venezuelan parties, and that made the process of moving to a new country easier for me. So that's one thing, when you are in a process that you're getting used to something new, you have to go to places where you can meet people and feel, I don't know, feel happier, or find a way to feel the the fulfillment of what you had before on your own country. So when you are not on your country, and you don't have the friends that you used to have, you are in a process of many changes and so many challenges. You just have to be with people that brings you happiness, and I think it was, a, you know, all the process, but one of the challenges was making him trust.
Yes, yes. And I can see that. I totally can see that. And what I love about you that you were actually communicating with him. And I think that's one of the really important tools when you're rebuilding the trust is that having that strong communication between two people. Well, actually you do say things to each other to rebuild the trust. Because everybody has a reason why they don't trust, right? And I'm a big believer that first of all, if you don't trust yourself, your choices, your opinions, your
Exactly.
decisions, you can never trust others.
No, exactly.
So
No.
when people tell me I have trust issues, my first question is, do you trust yourself, sunshine?
Very true. Yeah. Yes. So that brings us to again, you know, it's not only self-love, it's
Yeah.
self-trust. So your
Yes.
cup has to be filled with all of this. You have to know yourself and know what bothers you, know what can ignite your anger, or
Yes.
um, knowing all of that first, because if a challenge comes, then you know how to deal with it, and it will be easier um, to find the answer and the help, or if you need to get help, you know.
I love that. And I think it's so powerful. And I think the number one tip what people should start following from today in order to rebuild trust is practicing trusting themselves, then practicing communication with others so they can rebuild the trust with other people, and then
Mhm.
to have really open and beautiful relationships with like another partner, because you cannot really be in a relationship where you don't have friends, you don't have interests, you don't have
No, no. I mean, some people are happy like that, and that's fine, you know. Some relationships are happy like that. I don't know which, I don't know who, but I'm sure there's many relationships where they like to be you know, closed at home and enjoying the company of each other, and that's fine if that's your kind of person. But I think you're losing so much, you know. You are if you are that person, I think if you're not finding, you know, because again, you know, if we change with time, people change with time, and then if you don't have that strength of having a friend, and then from another, you know, from time to time,
Yeah.
everything changes, and then you find a friend, and you never been in that situation where your husband or your wife or your girlfriend or your boyfriend seen you trusting another person other than you. I think the shock is even bigger, because then is if you didn't build that trust
Yeah.
within your relationship, I think there is when the lack of confidence starts to happen. So yeah, it's, you know, either way is fine, but you need to work on your confidence and trust before everything else.
I agree. I agree. Yes, because when you're not confident, that means automatically you'll be doubting yourself, doubting your
Yes,
partner, doubting your relationships, whether it is real or not, and everything else. And very often,
exactly. I was gonna say, you start seeing things where
yeah,
they don't exist, and then it brings us to the power of, you know, of bringing things to your life. If you start thinking that something is happening and you lacking of confidence, and you not, you know, open to trust your partner, then you start to see things where they don't exist, and then you're going to start bringing those things your way, and it may happen just because you didn't trust enough.
that's very true, very true. And I love these comments. I think these are really, really important actually for people to realize that it all starts within you. The trust, the confidence, the self-love. In terms of building the relationships with another partner, you have to start with your own heart, with being plenty, being the
Mm.
confident person, being the person who trusts himself or herself, and also being full in terms of self-love. Love that, love that. But Tania, would you share with us some, really remarkable moments? Because I get the challenges. Challenges are always great, right? But do you have any rituals in your relationships? Do you have anything special? What helps you to reignite relationships, or what keeps the spark going? Especially in intimacy, right? Because this is such an area where people don't want to go. And you being 15 and him being 20, I'm sure you had some stories
We've
there.
learned together. We've learned together. We've
You
learned
learned
together.
together. Wow.
Yes, yes. Yeah, of course. I was 15. Come on.
Well,
um,
I don't want to go down there, but that was my question.
um, yeah, I mean, obviously, intimacy is so important. I think, again, you have to know yourself. You have to know your body. You have to know what is it that you want to feel. What is it that you want to get, and what are you able and capable to give as well. So we we can just think about ourselves on the intimacy. You have to think also about the other person, and
Yes.
sometimes we think too much of our pleasure, and we don't think about what can give pleasure to our partner. And again, that is where this comes, your self-knowing, your senses, your what is it that you like, you know. And in my opinion, there has to be communication as well between one another, or you can just, you know, have your ideas and bring it to the game and see if it works. But then again, there has to be the two sides. So he or she has to like what you bring into the game, and as well as you do, because is respect as well. So respect comes to that part. You may want and like things that you want to experience, but if the person that is with you is not ready for it, just don't force it, because I think that harms your relationship as well. um and what you like now is not what you're gonna like in the future, you know. We change,
Absolutely.
and experiences and curiosity, I think, as well. when you see things, because now you can see many things, you know, social media help us with all of this. And yeah, I mean, the game, playing with each other, and having goals as well in that part, because as I said, what you like now is not what you're gonna like in the future, or what you liked in the past is not what you like now. So I think again is communication and respect, and trust as well. Trust and be open. I think you have to be open to learn and do things, and be finding new things together.
Love that. I love how beautifully you brought the trust and communication here again. It's beautiful because it doesn't mean in just in an outside part of relationships you have to trust each other, but also in the very deep part of your relationship, which is
Of
intimacy.
course.
Again, you have to trust each other. And here with the
Yes. I
confidence
mean,
comes in.
and if you let's say your partner may like doing something to you that you don't enjoy, just say it. And you know, as I said, is respect. And if you don't like it, but you can how to say, you can agree with it, it's fine. But if you don't like it, and you want to say it, you shouldn't be scared to say it. You should discuss it. And it might not stop, because sometimes is what it is, you know, but at least you've said it, and you discussed about it, and then when it happens, you're not so surprised, or you're not so angry. And um yeah, I mean, trust and communication, it's key.
I
And
love
love.
that. I think it's so important, and I'm so glad you brought it in here. So, so glad. Because when people, and I heard some horrible stories from my clients when they were coming to talk to me about their relationships.
Oh
And when
yes, there is a lot. Yes.
yeah, exactly. And the bottom line in many, many, many unhappy relationship is the lack of communication. And what you said there is
Mm.
beautiful. If you don't like something happening to you, doing to you, or said to you, just talk about that. Just discuss it, bring it up and discuss it and talk about that at the right moment, whenever the moment is, whenever it feels right. But
Exactly. Yes.
sooner the better, I guess. You know, because what's the point to hold on for so long and then experience something, what you're not willing to experience, and then build the barrier between you and your partner? Because for longer you don't speak, the thicker skin you
Oh
build
yes,
as a
yes,
protection
yes.
mechanism.
And you know, sometimes you might not like it, but at least I will say there's things that you can try, because
Yeah.
you know, and the way we've been brought up as well makes
Oh
the
yes.
difference, you know, like
Yeah.
how to say, I mean, my culture in Venezuela is totally different than the culture in Portugal. And I'm not going to say that we speak about intimacy when we are young, but you can tell that people in my country starts relationships really early, you know, like but obviously I have a bone from Europe, so our education is totally different.
Yes.
But again, you have to respect your body, you have to respect yourself, and you shouldn't do things that you don't feel comfortable with. But if you are open to try, you don't like it, but you are open to try, you should say it as well. Because I think when you do things without wanting, you don't enjoy it. And that's going to make you think about many things, and it's going to make you feel really low, and it's gonna, as you said, it's gonna build a thick skin, and it's not healthy.
It's not. And also it happens very often. And I think it's a little mistake which people do. They discuss few things which you would like to try, usually not in the moment. Usually when you don't have this spark, when you're just doing random things, could be anything around the house, just normal daily life,
Yes, yes,
and you come up and you're like, how about trying this new thing? You're not in a mood, you're not in the flow. And I think the most important time when you should try new things is when you are in the moment, when you are there, when both of you are having your
ready.
intimacy. And during that moment when you both are having this chemistry energy exchange is the best time to try things or
Yes,
discuss something. but not when you're randomly driving in the car or doing grocery shopping.
Well,
In majority
well,
of cases. Okay, tell us your story. Tell us your story.
well,
I'm ready, Tania.
that's another thing, when there is so much connection and so much trust, is different. Every relationship is different, every situation is different. I'm a really adventurous person, and so is he. So things can happen, and obviously, but again, it's, as you said, it's different when you are open, both of you are into it, than when you are not so open to it. So, but yeah, yes.
Love that. I love
Yeah.
it. Oh my God. I would love to know so many more details, but I guess some of them will be not really appropriate for the live show.
No,
So
no.
maybe we'll not go down.
But
But
yeah, I mean, I think intimacy is important. It's
yes,
one of the most important things in life. In a relationship, also in life.
totally.
um,
Yes.
because I mean, it's part of it. It's the way that us as a human being share love, and it's one of the ways that we show to one another how much love there is, or how much intimacy there is. And yeah, and it's good for both. It's good for one another.
Love that. Love that. But you know what I'm wondering here? What would you suggest to those couples? And I'm sure you came across these couples as well, maybe if you're with your clients or with your friends. Because I completely agree with you 100%. If intimacy is not there, and of course you can work on your intimacy. Of course, you
Yes.
are
Oh, of course. Yes.
first few times with your new
and
partner, have
and again, Olga, again, as I said, many relationships don't work from the beginning. And you may fall in love with the person, and their soul and their spirit, and when it
yeah,
comes to the intimacy, it doesn't work on day one, but it doesn't mean it's not going to work. So I think it's something that you can work on, as everything else. It's like a muscle. You can be there and try to work it out,
yeah.
and as I said, both has to be open, both has to um, discuss it, and to uh, be open enough to try and bring the ideas together.
I love that.
It
You know,
doesn't mean that because it didn't work on day one, it doesn't mean that it's not going to work.
exactly, exactly. And it is about growing together. And I
Patience,
always say,
perseverance.
absolutely, absolutely. Because why do people grow apart? Why do they grow apart within their intimate life? Why they grow apart spiritually? Why they grow apart intellectually? Because they haven't been growing together. And in
Yeah,
order to grow together, you have to go through discussions, through being raw, through being vulnerable,
communication.
through exactly communication. And actually you have the opportunity to exchange dislikes and likes, preferences, and what's working, what's not working. And if you're not willing to face the reality of what actually your partner feels or sees within you, then how can you grow?
Exactly. Yes, true, very
Fascinating.
true.
Fascinating. So we both agree intimacy is such an important part of any relationships. So what if one partner is really willing to work on relationships, but another partner is like, well, we can be just together because we have, let's say, 3 kids together. It's not really that high intimacy, but you know what? Yeah, we're together, and all this blah 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 stories which we have like left, right, and center. What would you say about that? What's
Yeah,
your
I
opinion?
know. Um, it's hard. It is hard. I've had so many people that I met in life that have been going through separation, and I have a friend, a really close friend, that her parents just broke up, and when she was in 15 years old, and it was a shock. I understand that parents sometimes do things for the children, um, and I'm a parent, so I understand that. I understand that sometimes we have choices, but we don't have to face it. we don't want to go through that. So it's more comfortable to stay in the easiest part of the process. I will say, you know, if you agree with that, if you are not willing to work on your relationship, and you don't want to be with a person anymore, and you agreeing yourself to stay, especially if it's a person that is kind of breaking you, you know, like kind of not doing well to you, and you're still in the same house, in the same, I think you don't love yourself enough. You know, I think I agree, again, I don't want to be judging anyone, I don't want to be in that position, but it's not judging, is my point of viewing things. And as you ask, I'm open to, and to be bold and open, as I always am. I think you just, if you agree with that, you just don't love yourself enough. And I think you should, you know, if you are in that position, I think you should work on yourself, and actually sometimes, you know, as I said again, sometimes relationships doesn't work not because of the other person. You know, sometimes it doesn't work because you don't let it work, you know. So sometimes we are just too how to say judgmental, I don't even know how to say that word.
Yes.
And we think that the problem is in the other person, and we don't look inside us and see that actually the problem comes from us. And it's a difficult process, you know, but I've been through it. And there is so many things that sometimes you see in that person, and you don't realize that you are seeing something that is coming from you and not from that person. So my suggestion would be, if you're going through this situation where you don't feel good with your partner anymore, where you don't feel bond anymore, where you don't feel the sparkle, as you said, question yourself again and see if there is something there that can reignite it, you know. Because sometimes, as I said, life happens, and we are so busy, and we are going through so many things that you don't even work out that part of your relationship, you know. Having kids, you know, intimacy after kids, oh my goodness, it's not easy, you know.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my god, you know, it's not easy, especially when they are in an age where they start understanding. And but just my thing is, if you are in that position and you are in a relationship where until now things always worked, just, oh, I got goosebumps, you know. Just dig in again, and look back and think again on what was there that brought us together, and you know, try to find it again. Because yeah, we change, life happens, kids happens, but there is always a way, you know. And if you are willing to reignite it, then the first thing is look back to what was in that person that made you feel the love. But if there is no connection, and you know, it's not going to work anymore, or you think that you probably never should be together, then just let it go.
I love it. I love what you said there, and I completely agree with you. You see, it is about, again, going back to the very beginning of this conversation.
Yeah.
It starts with you, because whatever happens within your partner, in yourself, it's a mirror, and they mirror your
Yes.
attitude, they mirror your behavior, they mirror what you feel towards yourself. If you don't love yourself, you're settling for somebody who's not making you happy, right? And then also, if you're not happy within yourself, how can you be happy with anybody else? It's not about
No, you can't.
them making you happy. It's about them making you happier when you already are happy. So love that. Start with yourself, because then your partner is mirroring exactly what happens within your soul, and just know yourself. Oh, Tania, you know what? That was remarkable. Honestly, you shared so much. And I love the two comments which we have here from Diana. And thank you so much, Diana, for joining us. Diana says, first comment is, I love how Tania has managed to hold on to her sense of self in the journey to building trust. This is amazing. It's beautiful, beautiful
Thank
comment.
you, Diana.
And there's a second comment as well. Honest, open communication and trust. Wow, in capitals. This is so very important, all rooted in self-love. There we go. Good. So, a good takeaway. And then growing together and encouraging true intimacy. Tania, your story is so powerful.
Thank you.
I agree with Diana. Your story
Thank
is
you.
extremely powerful. And I must say that I'm not sure where exactly time flew because we're here for nearly an hour. And I'm like,
Oh, really?
I
Wow.
know. I know, exactly. But you see, when you go so deep and when you have so much wisdom coming out, almost like a fountain, just like flourishing here, of course time will fly. But Tanya, is there anything else you would like to share with the audience? Any more wisdom, any more takeaways which can help people to have more beautiful, remarkable, and really like passionate relationship? Do you have anything else to share from your own 19-year-old experience?
19 years young. We the
Yeah,
the 19 of our life, and many more to come.
absolutely.
I what can I say? I think if you don't have kids and you're planning to have kids, I'm gonna tell you now, enjoy your relation while the kids doesn't come. You know,
Wow, I love that tip.
find yes, but it's true. I think you agree with me. Um, find a way of making the most of it. And uh, if you are a couple and you're planning to have kids, and you feel that that's the thing that you're lacking right now, don't wait for the right moment, because the right moment never happens. You
Yeah.
know, um, if you're waiting to have more money, if you're waiting to have the right job, if that doesn't happen, it just don't, and just work on that. And if that's what's gonna make your relationship happier, or if that's gonna make your bond stronger, then just work on that and make it happen. Because if you don't do it now, then if years go and you don't do it, you will regret it in the future. That's what I've learned with clients, with people, with friends. Um, and if you are a happy couple, just carry on. Don't forget to don't forget
Love
to work
that.
on your intimacy. Just keep working. And even if you're happy, even if you feel like you are the perfect couple, there is always something that you can work together.
Yes.
There is just find the ignition. Just find something new, because there is always new things. Um, to make it even more interesting. um, and just find things to do together. If you're a busy couple and you work full time, both of you, and there is not much time to be together, just plan your time together and have your couple time. Your if you're like me, that you just want to do things with your daughter all the time, because I'm a chicken mom and I want to be with her all the time.
You are, you really are. You're always with your daughter. I so
I
admire you
know.
for that.
Just plan things together if you enjoy that. But if you also are the person that, or the couple that, you can't live without your day nights, just plan it and make it happen, and do things together, because that's also key on your relationship.
Oh, that is so beautiful. I love that. Thank you so much, Tanya. Well, I
Thank
can't
you.
thank you enough. You shared so much wisdom, so many tips, so many great examples from your own personal life of your 19-year-old young relationship. I love that adjustment. I love that adjustment. Young relationship.
Yeah,
That's beautiful. And you know what? I would love to have you back at some point to share
of
more value
course.
with us. But
Yes.
right now, we really have to wrap it up.
I was
But
enjoying
thank you
it.
so much. But thank you so much for coming onto the
Thank
show.
you.
Your sister
Thanks for
is
having
sending you lots of love, and she says you are fantastic.
me.
And I
I love
totally
you.
agree with your sister Sylvia. Yes, Tanya is absolutely fantastic. And today, Tanya, it was a blessing to have you with us. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for coming.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Have a good
And
day.
everyone who is watching us, thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned in, subscribe, and share this video with many other people who would love to learn about relationship, and especially those who are single, who can learn from Tania's experience how actually they can build a really strong, powerful, and charismatic relationships.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.